The 2026 New York primary election is coming up on Tuesday with a lot of important seats up for grab. Early voting opened on June 13th, and as of this morning, according to Vote NYC, the total number of early check-ins for the primary is already over 135,000. Joining us now for more on what to expect from that upcoming primary is Politico New York state politics reporter Jason Beeferman is here in the studio. All right, Jason, we've been knee-deep in Iran and Mideast politics for quite some time, so catch us up. What are the races that are important? What do we need to be watching here?
I think the theme for Tuesday is going to be Zohran Mamdani's influence. We have a bunch of congressional races, particularly in New York City, where it's a battle between the Democratic Socialists of America and Zohran Mamdani, and, you know, kind of like the Democratic establishment. So we have Claire Valdez, who is a longtime ally of Zohran, up against Antonio Reynoso in Brooklyn. We have Dan Goldman, the incumbent, up against Brad Lander. He was supported by Zohran in the mayoral and again for the congressional. And we have Adriano Espaillat, the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, up against a late surging, potentially a big upset in Daria Lisa Avila Chaviler, and she was also endorsed by Zohran. So it's a real test of Mamdani's influence, and we're gonna find out.
Let me stick with the New York 10. My congressional district, Brad Lander, out and about at the Prospect Park soiree last night, where I might have been in attendance.
There's some pictures of that?
You know, I'm not going to show them on television.
Okay,
it was a revelrous night. But I bring it up because Christina rightly asking, we're talking about Iran, we're talking about foreign policy. This is a race, one of several, I think, where issues of foreign policy have had a huge influence on sort of what voters are voting for when they go to the polls this week.
That's right. And it's not just Brad Lander's race. It's also even in Claire Valdez versus Antonio Reynoso. You have two people who both call Israel, what's happening in Gaza, a genocide. But Claire is saying to Antonio, well, you didn't call it a genocide soon enough. And that's really kind of like, I think, describes the mood in Brooklyn right now, where you have this surge of progressive voters that came out for Zohran, and they are really animated by this issue. Even in Espaillat's district, you have people accusing super PACs of being funded by AIPAC, or if you took money from a donor who also donated to AIPAC, then all of a sudden that money is tainted. And you're right, it is an extremely animating issue, almost more so than domestic issues like benefits or public housing, things like that. It's wild.
It's so interesting. The opposite of all politics are local. At the moment, all politics are everything. I'm also wondering, we've been talking a lot throughout this primary season about the Trump endorsement and whether or not these Republican moderates getting primary to the right is going to hurt them in the general election. I think I want to ask the reverse question to you, is getting the Mamdani endorsement may get you the primary, but is that going to become a liability for Democrats when they go to run the bigger race?
You know, Zohran hasn't endorsed any Democrat who's facing a competitive general election. We have some competitive general elections, particularly in New York 17, Mike Lawler in Westchester and Rockland. We have Laura Gillen and Tom Suozzi on Long Island. But I think Zohran, first of all, they're not socialists.
These are mostly seats where it comes down to who gets the primary win, and then you're pretty much a fait accompli going to win the seat.
Yeah, and it's almost like the favorite or the competitive Democrats in those battleground districts, Zohran's not going to want to endorse them anyway because they're not anti-billionaire, socialist, free buses and grocery stores. So that's probably multiple reasons why they're not going to endorse each other.
Let's hear from the mayor himself. We have a clip of him talking about his slate of candidates, the Our Team, Our Year slate. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Now, people often ask me what I think of the state of the Democratic Party. This slate here today is our answer. The Democratic Party must change, because the party of the past will not be what leads us into the future. For we need a Democratic Party with backbone.
Jason, here we are, not even a year in his mayoralty, and I'm curious sort of what we know now about Mayor Mamdani as kind of a larger Democratic figure. There was this tendency during the primary and the general election to say, like, is he the leader of the Democratic Party? What role is he playing here? But as he amasses this slate of candidates and talks about, in broad philosophical terms, what the party should be doing, How is he filling that vacuum? What is the role that he's playing now within the Democratic Party broadly?
You know, it's not just in Congress in D.C., it's also in the state legislature here in New York. He's backing a number of state lawmakers to try to change the makeup of the state legislature, the laws we pass in New York. And, you know, I think he sees his ambitions as broader than New York. He's going on streams with Hassan Piker,
yes,
and, you know, the Washington Post reported that he was going to meet with the Colombian president, Petro. So he sees his project as bigger, but he's not afraid to get into the weeds and back the local assembly candidate or the local state senator. And I think he really wants the New York Democratic Party to be more socialist, more like Bernie Sanders' vision.
You mentioned Mike Lawler, who we've had on the show a couple times. How vulnerable is that seat?
I would say it's one of the most vulnerable seats in the country, and he knows that, or it seems like he knows that. You know, he's only
Why do you say that?
He's only one of 3 Republicans that held onto their seat when their district voted for Kamala Harris. A lot of these battleground congressional districts, when you break it down, they voted for Trump in 2024. His district voted by Kamala Harris by a hair, and Cook Political Report, they used to say was lean Republican. Now it's a toss-up. So they've assessed that it's even more competitive than just lean Republican. I think he's scared. He's getting involved in that Democratic primary. He's meddling a little bit. He wants to pick his opponent. We'll see if that works out for him. It's a gamble.
We got about a minute left, but this is a very crowded primary in that congressional district. You got 5 candidates who are vying for the chance to go up against him. Is there a clear front-runner?
Kate Conley,
yeah,
she's an Army veteran. She's from D.C. She used to work in Biden's White House in counterterrorism. She's getting attacks from Lawler. Lawler's trying to attack her. All the other Democrats are attacking her. The problem...
So that might seem like she's the biggest competition.
It seems like that. One liability she has is that she moved to the district just a month before announcing her campaign. So I'm sure that when we get to the general, if she wins, she's going to get a lot of carpetbagging accusations.